Good morning. Welcome back to Act Locally Live. My name is Elizabeth Riley. Today is Tuesday. It's August the 26th, 7:30 a.m. And today is Title Tuesday, where I'm going to be covering the biggest book drops, album releases, and movie premieres that you don't want to miss. These are things that have dropped since the last time I spoke to you from Title Tuesday. And, last time we were here, I introduced what long form content was, the difference between that and short form, and why I'm choosing to do books, albums, and movies, being that these are all cohesive and coherent pieces that have been released. And so I also want to, you know, expand on that a bit because last week I talked about how long form content and these things that I'm sharing with you benefit our attention span and our serotonin reward systems. So, how like everything that we do now is just that instant gratification, and slowing down, doing things that take longer with more intention will rewire your brain, make you feel happier in the end because you aren't doing these like small acts for small rewards. So, to this week, this Title Tuesday, I want to talk about how long form content is special. Is special because it can present meaningful messages in an artful manner that short form content just simply can't produce. It can't match the level. So, there's obviously a ton of nuance to that statement. I threw a ton of words, meaningful, messages, artful. All of these things can be, picked apart. What does that mean? What's your definition? Okay, it's all subjective. However, when I'm checking with my girl Merriam-Webster, my favorite dictionary, I frequent that site. They know me. They know me there. They know my face. Here are your definitions. The first one being art is a skill acquired by experience, study, or observation, or it is the conscious use of skill and creative imagination, especially in the production of aesthetic objects. Okay, that's where we're working with here. Okay, skills, experience, study, observation, consciousness, creative imagination. Okay, one of my biggest pet peeves is when I am scrolling on TikTok, Reels, Shorts, and there will be a video of a pretty person lip syncing in front of a sunset, and there will be a comment. Someone will seriously say, "This is art." Or there will be a slow motion glitter drop video. This is art. Oh, okay. To each their own. And you can find that content enjoyable. And I believe that short form content can be beautiful and it can be audibly pleasing and just overall satisfying to watch, but that does not compute to skill, experience, study, observation, creative imagination, and like production in my mind. I think that obviously when you are comparing short and long form content, in short form content, video, audio, digital editing, production capabilities, those are skills that can be used to produce beautiful pieces in short content form. But those are creative skills that are acquired by experience, study, and observation that are used to produce other creative pieces. One of my favorite examples of this, I guess, an example I will give to kind of explain this difference and where I see like this happening. Fandom edits. That is a short form piece of content that seriously I would consider art. Those people are carrying so much on their backs. Fandom edits are amazing. If you don't know what a fandom edit is, it's where a fan of a particular piece of media, such as like Marvel or Harry Potter, or just these big, huge like groups that have a big following, they will take clips from all of these different pieces of media. They will overlay some sort of song or words, captions, lyrics, etc., and they will edit together all of these things and make this just beautiful, beautiful pieces of art. Oh my goodness. However, note that edits are short form content creative works, but they are typically built from the narratives of long form works, being books, movies, albums, etc. So I think that it can be argued that like car videos, or like if a wedding photographer posts her content, or like those edited compilations of like makeup artists who are like swiping and then boom, boom, they're beautiful. And then they like smize and they like pose and eat and it's amazing. I think that those, yet again, are beautiful pieces of short form content, but they all have some form of art that is the centerpiece of that short form content. And the short form content is not art itself. Hear me out. So for Title Tuesday this week, I am bringing you more books, more albums, and more movies that have currently dropped that you should be hearing about. And we are going to be starting again with the longest form of content and the best, books. Book drops are going to be first. These are the best types of content, in my humble opinion, because it's the most personalized to whatever your beautiful mind can dream up. The author can only do so much on the page, and like you've got to be able to see the vision going on here. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite parts about reading a book is when there's just so much drama going on, and like you're the voice in your head who's reading this out, and you have like such a moment with it that you need to like close it and take a lap. Like you are, did that really just happen? You feel like you are invested. That's because your mind is doing the work here. So last week I gave you 5 fiction books, and I fear I totally neglected nonfiction and the value that it brings to the literary world. So today I am making up for that, and I am recommending you 5 nonfiction titles. And this is why. Okay. I understand that you're like, I learned so much from TikTok and Instagram and YouTube Shorts. However, if you take a second to think about what you like to learn about, and you gave that a Google search onto your local library's website, you would find so many books that cover those topics in depth with research and peer edited, all of this nonsense. Like, it's not nonsense. All of this great crafty work that is needed to produce literature, it's done. And you can read about all of your favorite things so in depth. So that's why fiction is important. Also, hot and sexy people read because it makes them smart. So why not read things that are real to make you real smart? There you go. I'm going to give you all of those titles after we take a break right after this.
When you view the glass half full, the little things become magical. Like kicking back and sharing laughs, spread good vibes, and they'll come back. Celebrate what you love with what you wear, even if what you love is kind of weird. Life is good in super soft tees that spark smiles and connectivity. 10% of profits go to help kids heal. So choose optimism and make the magic real. Visit lifeisgood.com.
What I love most about playing basketball is the competition. I really just like being shifty, mastering hesitation moves, changing direction, building chemistry with new teammates. If you're not having fun while you're playing, it's no point in playing the game. You know what to do. Escape Basic. Pair of Thieves quick dry underwear. It wicks away sweat and helps keep you dry. You looking forward to fishing season?
Let's unbox the all-new Walking Pad X21. It is the hottest thing on the fitness market right now. Whew. I like it. I like it a lot. Well done, Walking Pad. So after using the Walking Pad, I absolutely loved it. For the price, I adore it. I highly recommend it.
I've gotten a lot of questions as to where people can find the best supplements.
And that's why we have the Swell Score, because we have created this platform where our team of researchers and doctors have come together to bring top-notch quality supplements and information.
We make sure that if we are recommending a product, that it hasn't been reviewed by the same company that is producing that product.
Now we have a resource that we can do that.
Back to Act Locally Live. I'm your host, Elizabeth Riley. And before we get into all of the fantastic, amazing book titles that I have to share with you today, all of them being nonfiction, I want to tell you about this beautiful, glorious artwork behind me. These pieces were both graciously donated to us. These back here are from Debbie Miller of Corsicana. And this right here is the lovely piece from Russell Campbell. I've also got one right here. Oh my goodness, look at this. It's made out of spackle, like what you'd use to fill holes, and it's fully dry. It's like 3D. It's pretty amazing. It's gorgeous. Love it. I've just been running my hands over it and touching it. It's a lovely sensory experience. All of these pieces behind me are available for sale. If you're interested, you can either message us at Act Locally Waco, or you can contact the artists themselves, which you can see on your screen now. So, the books for today. I collected some things that I thought were very interesting, and also some things that have been sitting on the top of the watch lists for a bunch of different readers. So the first one that I have is called This Happened to Me, A Reckoning by Kate Price. As a child, Kate Price was physically and sexually abused by her father, who also trafficked her to other men. Her memories of that time were fragmentary until, as an adult, she went through therapy with the psychiatrist Bessel van der Kolk, who wrote about her case in his best-selling book, The Body Keeps Score. The Body Keeps Score is a fantastic book, and it's been read by tons of psychology nerds everywhere, and talks about how trauma is maintained in the body and how you can't just, heal from things through mental work. You also have these physical entrapments. Anywho, now Price is telling her own story after a 10-year quest alongside a journalist that sent them searching for proof of what she remembered had actually happened. In this exquisitely rendered and transformative memoir, Price describes how she broke free of that which had defined her childhood and went on to create a purpose-driven life and family on her own terms. She returned to the same Appalachian community she used to for her education, and she used her education and advocacy to help ensure that the children are given the attention, protection, and services that she had never received. From victim to advocate, fearful child to empowered adult, and from despair to triumph, This Happened to Me is a story of astonishing resilience and breathtaking determination. This sounds just like an absolute wonderful piece of, like you said, resilience and determination. After reading The Body Keeps Score and knowing what kind of therapies were used there, I can only imagine what Miss Kate Price had to go through, and this is a 10-year long investigative journalistic study on your own life. No, thank you. You are braver than us all, Kate Price. Our next title is called Semi-Well Adjusted Despite Literally Everything, another memoir. This one is by Allison Stoner, who you may recognize from movies like Camp Rock, Cheaper by the Dozen, Step Up, or the show Phineas and Ferb. Stoner details their life as a Disney Channel child star, along with their family issues, an eating disorder, and religious trauma, and their subsequent path of self-discovery and advocacy. Actor-dancer Allison Stoner's revelatory and incisive memoir may begin in Hollywood, but its chilling relatability will resonate with anyone navigating identity, privacy, purpose, and mental health in a digital age. From family violence to betrayal to eating disorders and religious trauma, in Semi-Well Adjusted Despite Literally Everything, Allison shares their powerful story for the first time, dealing with a turbulent home life fractured by substance abuse, harrowing accounts from rehab, the messy process of discovering their sexuality in church, rebuilding a life after an early professional peak, and charting a path of self-discovery and advocacy. We all have seen the fallout of early childhood stardom and how that affects people. And being on a pedestal through puberty is just not what anybody should go through. That should be illegal. I can't even imagine. So I've also read I'm Glad My Mother Died by Jeanette McCurdy, who is another young childhood star who suffered really bad familial abuse. And if Allison Stoner's novel, memoir, is anything like the writing or the path of discovery that was shown in Jeanette McCurdy's book, I will be picking it up and I will be reading it. Thank you. The next story that I have is called Rope: How a Bundle of Twisted Fibers Became the Backbone of Civilization. This book is by Tim Queeny. He is a sailor who knows more about rope and its importance to humankind than most. In Rope, Queeny takes readers on a ride through the history of rope and the way it weaves itself through the story of civilization. Queeny shows how without rope, no adventurous voyages or discoveries would have been possible. Time traveling, he describes the building of the pyramids, the Roman Colosseum, the Notre Dame, the Brooklyn Bridge, and countless other constructions that would not have been possible without rope. Not content to just look at rope's past, Queeny looks at its present and its possible future and how the reinvention with rope's synthetic fibers will likely provide the strength for cables to support elevators into space. Excuse me? I would love to hear what this man has to say about this. Making the story of rope real for readers, Queeny tells remarkable nautical stories of his own reliance on rope at sea. And rope is just a history, adventure, and the story of one of the world's most common tools that has made it possible for humans to advance throughout the centuries. I love things like this. If you are anything like me, you go throughout your day just constantly asking questions of like, how did this come to be here right now? I'll be holding my coffee in the morning and I'm like, okay, so there are coffee beans in the coffee maker. Somebody made the coffee maker. Somebody had to harvest the coffee beans. And now I'm sitting here drinking it in a coffee mug that was perhaps handmade. I don't know. How many people have I interacted with just this morning based off of this one interaction? You know what I'm saying? This makes me feel like I love the little things. I love the little things. I love being able to just blow up and expand how important all of those little things are, because everything is a story and it all has a tale to tell. So I'm excited about that one. The next book that I have for you is The New Age of Sexism: How the AI Revolution is Reinventing Misogyny by Laura Bates. In The New Age of Sexism, acclaimed author and activist Laura Bates exposes how misogyny is being coded into the very fabric of our future. From the biases embedded in artificial intelligence to the alarming rise of sex robots and toxic dynamics of the metaverse, Bates takes readers on a shocking journey into a world where technology is weaponized against women. This isn't a dystopian warning about what might happen. It's a harrowing account of what's happening now and the dangers that we face if we don't act. With clarity and urgency, Bates reveals how advancements are dragging society backwards, reinforcing harmful stereotypes, and jeopardizing decades of progress in the fight for gender equality. This eye-opening and empowering novel is a rallying cry for awareness and action in a world where the battle for equality has entered a dangerous new frontier. Obviously, I'm all about it. I'm going to read it. It's already on my TBR. It's already ordered. It's going to be showing at my door. The last and final book that I have for you is The Devil Reached Toward the Sky: An Oral History of the Making and Unleashing of the Atomic Bomb by Garrett M. Graff. He's a Pulitzer Prize finalist, and he collected a panoramic narrative of how ordinary people grapple with extraordinary wartime risks, sacrifices, and choices. And these have obviously transformed the course of history. So he was able to talk to dozens of people, collecting oral history archives from hundreds of books, reports, letters, and diaries from across the US, Japan, and Europe. And he masterfully blends all of these memories and perspectives from the known and the unknown. And it goes on to testify the terrifying power that these people were holding and the consequences that they would face because of their creation. It's both a testament to human ingenuity and resilience, and it is a compelling drama told by the participants who lived it. It is a singular, profound, searing book about the inception of our most powerful weapon and its haunting legacy. I'm really excited to read that one as well. I am a big oral history fan. I worked at the Institute for Oral History at Baylor. I think it's phenomenal just listening to some things like that. Would 10 out of 10 check out all of their files. But this is obviously one of those stories that lots of people had their hands on and lots of people were affected by. So next up, I'm going to run through all of the movies and the albums that you will need to catch. But for now, those were all of our nonfiction books, and I'll see you after this little break.
Everyone is born with different gifts and skills. Everyone is unique and has something that only they can offer this world. And everyone has different needs that help them accomplish their day-to-day goals and challenges. But there's one thing that everyone needs, no matter who they are. Breathe cleaner. Puro Air.
Every dog deserves a second chance in a loving home. And you brew Grounds and Hounds, you're helping to fund that second chance for a rescue pup in need. They'll brew a second cup, and let's change the world for every pup. One cup at a time. Visit us at groundsandhoundscoffee.com.
With over 50 years in the industry, Arriva Hospitality Group has been delighting guests with unforgettable experiences across Mexico. Our investors enjoy trust and impressive returns, while our guests, whether on vacation or business, keep coming back for more fun and memories. At Arriva Hospitality Group, we are looking for investors who share our dream of making people happy while our investments grow. Take a closer look at arrivahotels.mx.
I just got my Colgate Advanced LED Whitening Treatment in the mail, and I am very excited to have dramatically whiter teeth in just 10 days. My teeth are going to be 6 shades whiter. The treatment is enamel safe and hassle-free. It's even designed for my sensitive teeth. Let's open it up. Inside we have the blue light whitening device. It's a charger for after each treatment as well. There's a full 10-day supply, and it looks easy to apply. Order yours today at shop.colgate.com.
Hello and welcome back to Act Locally Live. I am your host, Elizabeth Riley. It is Tuesday, August 26th, and it is Title Tuesday, where I am covering all of the best book titles, album titles, and movie titles that you may have missed that you need to hear of. Just covered 5 nonfiction books because I totally neglected it last Title Tuesday, but now I have some movies and some albums for you. So, The Map That Leads to You, which is available on Prime Video, dropped August 20th, and it is a story about Heather's European adventure, which takes a turn when she meets Jack. They spark an unexpected emotional journey that neither of them saw coming. It stars Madeline Klein, KJ Apa, and Sophia Wiley. So, some big names that are up and coming, young stars. I'll give it a watch, sure. This next one dropped August 22nd. And it is already becoming Netflix's biggest box film ever. It is called K-Pop Demon Hunters. It stars names like Arden Cho, Liza Koshy, and Ken Jeong. A world-renowned K-pop girl group balances their lives in the spotlight with their secret identities as demon hunters. It has been described as humorously subversive and a funny, brutal commentary on not only its own K-pop industry, but teenage culture and fan base as well. I'm interested. I'm intrigued. It doesn't seem like something I would watch, and a lot of people have said that, but there seem to be some positive and raving reviews. So I won't knock it till I watch it, okay? Up next, Honey Don't, which is available in theaters, dropped August 22nd, and it stars Margaret Qualley, Aubrey Plaza, and Chris Evans. Ooh! It is a dark comedy about a small-town private investigator named Honey O'Donoghue, who delves into a series of strange deaths tied to a mysterious church. I'm into it. I love all of those names that are featured. I'll be there. I'll be at Cinemark. It's also, what is it, $5, $7 Ticket Tuesday? I'll be there. Today, nope, not today. August 22nd, that's not today. Eden dropped. It's starring Sydney Sweeney, who is just in everything, I guess, nowadays. Can she stop? I mean, she's making her bag. Fair enough. But it also stars names like Anna de Armas and Jude Law. It is based on a factual account of a group of outsiders who settle on a remote island, only to discover their greatest threat isn't the brutal climate or deadly wildfire, but each other. Very Lord of the Flies-esque, if you ask me. Wasn't a good book, in my opinion, either. Why are we making it into another movie? Anyways, We Strangers dropped August 22nd, and it stars Sarah Goldberg, Paul Adelstein, and Maria Dizia. We Strangers is an addictive and haunting study of race, class, and assimilation, centering around Ray, who is a charming and self-determined woman living in Gary, Indiana. Have I been to Gary, Indiana? No. Am I going to watch it? Probably. Finally, I've got a ton of albums just for you that you need to hear. First up, Big X The Plug dropped I Hope You're Happy. It is a country rap fusion album. He is a Dallas native who collected a handful of country stars to join him on the effort, including Jelly Roll, Darius Rucker, Luke Combs, Bailey Zimmerman, Thomas Rhett, Tucker Wetmore, Shabuzi, and Ella Langley. Mind you, he literally just got arrested in Dallas like 3 days ago, right before this dropped. Good work, Big X. Deftones dropped Private Music, which is their 10th studio album. It is the whole title is stylized in lowercase, and all of the songs are also lowercase, besides 2 tracks, 6 and 10. Don't know if that means anything, but as a Swiftie, I fear I'm reading into things. Soulja Boy dropped another album. What? He's still making music? Yes. This one is called Draco Season, and it is not the iconic mean blonde character from Harry Potter. After only announcing this project earlier this week, he shared the full album, which is the first full-length drop since Diary of a Soulja in 2024. Love that. The Goo Goo Dolls dropped another EP called Summer Anthem. With track names like Nothing Lasts Forever and Not Goodbye, you can't help but assume that one of the most prolific alternative rock bands in the last 40 years might be thinking about retiring. Luckily, they have 14 studio albums and nearly 40 singles that you can still listen from. Finally, Wolf Alice dropped The Clearing. It is the 4th studio album from this English rock band, and this album follows the 2021 record Blue Weekend. I love Wolf Alice. I love all the stuff that they're dropping, and I cannot wait to see what this looks like. I am Elizabeth Riley. This has been Act Locally Live, Title Tuesday, where I bring you all of the best books, albums, and movies that you need to go see. Today, we're going to be focusing on art, okay, and, getting through Tuesday. Tuesdays are hard. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. Bye.